Welcome to the Due Diligence Podcast, where we explore how leaders make and execute their biggest decisions, from transactions to founding organizations to career pivots and beyond. This podcast is produced by Zhang-Financial Capital. We connect executive talent and capital to invest in West Michigan businesses. To learn more, visit us at sleepinggiantcapital.com or stop by our office in downtown Kalamazoo.
Hi, I'm Justin Murray, and I'm an executive in residence at Sleeping Giant Capital. Thanks for joining us for today's episode. My co-host Doug Lepisto and I speak with Lynn Zhang, owner and COO of Zhang-Financial in Kalamazoo, Michigan. We will explore Lynn's journey of growing a small business with her spouse, Charles. We hope you enjoy our conversation.
Lynn, it's great to see you.
It's great to see you.
And we haven't had a chance to sit down and talk actually about your whole journey. So we're really excited to go there. The first thing, though, is we hear that you have a little dog.
Yes, Sparky, Chief Executive Officer.
and apparently you take excellent care of this dog.
I take extremely excellent care of this dog. So the story of this dog is, both my kids went to boarding school, graduated from boarding school in the east side. So when my older one has decided to go to boarding school, my husband was like, well, if the first one goes, then the chances the younger one, who's 2.5 years younger, to go is pretty high. So he is going through this mood of, wow, it's going to be empty nested. We're going to be so bored, and the house will keep empty. Then I'm like, if you want another kid, speaking now or stop forever, the train is leaving.
The train is leaving.
Yeah. So then we discussed, and the Sparky is the result of our discussion.
There you go. Okay, so and do you bring Sparky to the office
every day?
Yeah.
He has been a hardworking employee of Zhang-Financial for now. This is his 14th year.
14th year. Wow. So
yeah.
So we talked. We always for our guests. We want to get a little personal background, fun story, and so I spoke with Sandy, and she said that apparently you need to put wax on the dog's paws.
Yes.
Before walking, especially in snow.
Yes, you do. And this is the trick I got from Barks Fifth Avenue.
Okay.
I was there years ago, because if you have a dog with long hairs, not some like German Shepherd, don't have long hair. You don't have this problem. But Sparky, if you saw him, he has long hair. He's a Shih Tzu. So in the snow, you walk him. You come back, you spend the next 30 minutes defrost his paws, because his paws is surrounded by those little snowballs. People who have a dog with long furs wouldn't know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have little balls of snow around their paws.
Yeah.
And then you want to get them off, and it takes a long time to get them off. So I was at Barks Fifth Avenue one time, and I was chatting with the owner. I was complaining about this. She's like, "Well, there is a way you can fix it." So that's why I got those wax. You put this on his. I'm telling you, it's like a magic. No more snow little balls.
We need on the podcast.
That's why we need a retail space. That's why we should not always buy from Amazon. We need to go visit. We need to go visit the retail. If you can, you have to go visit the retail stores.
Yes.
Because otherwise, Amazon's going to tell me that you need to put a wax on your dog's paws.
Right.
To stop the snow, right? So
yes.
Yeah.
So my in-laws also had a Shih Tzu, and they by the end of its life, they were feeding this dog turkey, just like human, turkey breast. So you cook for the dog. Okay. See?
I do. I cook. I have an air fryer.
There you go.
I cook for him chicken in my air fryer. I'm a very lousy cook. So I don't know how to use my oven very effectively. So I don't cook for Charles, but I will cook for my dog. I would use my little air fryer and I cook about 4 pieces of chicken every 2 days. and then I mix it with his food and feed him.
There you go.
Yeah,
Sparky lives the dream.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
There's a long line of people that want to say next life, want to be. So I often have my clients or my staff say, next life I'm coming back to be him. I said, well, take a number.
So you have an incredible dog, and you've been incredibly successful.
Thank you.
Both of those things. So we have a few things that we want to talk with you today about, but I think where I'd love to start is you have a really unique story of founding a financial wealth management firm as a woman with your husband.
Yes.
And going through that journey. What is that like, founding a firm and building a firm with your husband?
So I won't claim the credit of founding it, because my husband founded when he just fresh out of the graduate school. That's all he wanted to do. He wanted to be a financial advisor, a wealth manager.
Is that where you guys met?
No, we know each other. We knew each other when we were 13 years old.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
13.
We were 13 years old. We knew each other way back.
Wow.
So I'm telling you, he didn't have to even blink his eyes. I know what he's thinking. So yeah, that's how well we know each other. And we've been good friends for all these years before we married. That's a story for another day. Mm-hmm. So Charles founded the company in 1991. So he at that time, he had several job offers with a similar nature. He has job offer from Chicago, from Troy, and from here. At that time, there's called IDS. Then it became American Express. Then it's now Ameriprise. So IDS. I still have about half a year of school to go. So he said, I'm going to take this job here first. And when you graduate, if you want to move to someplace else. Now, remember, I came originally from Shanghai. I was very young at that time still, 91. So I am a big city girl. I wanted to go back to big city at that time.
And you're in school where, Lynn?
At Western.
At Western.
Yeah, I was finishing up my master in accounting. So I say, that sounds wonderful. So I finished my degree, and then it was about half a year. It's a little more than half a year. And then he was half a year in, and he really found that's something he's interested. He started having his client base. I'm like, oh. Then the end of the first year, at that time, IDS recruits about 1,000 students, kids, new advisors nationwide. In the end of his first year, he's the number one advisor from all the first year advisors. So he really started building his client base. Now, this is the thing about this business. You have your client base, you just don't leave. So, and he's like, I like this community. The more I know the people in this community, I love this community. So he's like, give it some time. You would love it, which, as you can see, he turned out to be right. So I find a job with PricewaterhouseCoopers. And then my background, I'm a tax CPA. So this is his first year. And by the time, so he was the number one for the second advisor. And by the time he was 29, the fifth year, at that time, American Express, it's already American Express, had about 10,000 advisors nationwide. He is the number one advisor out of the over 10,000 advisors nationwide. He was 29 at that time. He's the fifth year in the business. So I was proud to say I put food on the table for probably 3 months with my $32,000 salary from PricewaterhouseCoopers, because this is the thing about you starting a business at the beginning. It's very, very hard. But then his business take off. So we are fine. So so I'm a tax CPA, so he would have his clients have tax questions. He would ask me. And when he got very successful, honestly, for financial reason, at that time, I was making a tiny fraction of what our household income is with my job at PricewaterhouseCoopers and then at the Kellogg Company. So he always wanted me to join his practice because, of course, he sees how valuable I am. But I am the one who I was the one kind of hesitated because I have seen so many cases of husband and wife work together that end up in disaster. You fight all the way from conference room to bedroom, and it impacts your marriage. And I really don't want to see that happen. So I'm like, yeah, I'm happy with my career, happy with, even though I don't make as much, but, I'm happy with my working environment and everything. I was ready to climb the corporate ladder at Kellogg. Then our second son came. And I went back work for about 2 months. I was a manager in tax compliance at that time. It really is not practical because Charles at that time was so busy. And, you can't ask him to cancel his appointments. That's not fair to the clients. And for being, me, there are those budgeting times. I just can't leave because I'm the manager in charge of those budgeting process. So I feel bad for my kids. So that was the time that we sit down, we had a good talk, and I finally joined his practice.
How old were your kids at the time?
Well, that's why I know when I joined his practice because that was the beginning of 1998. Alex was 2 months old. Mitchell was 2.5 years old. Alex was 2 months old. And I think when I joined him, we managed maybe about $150 million something. Today we manage $5 billion. So I would say I'm part of the founder.
Did you have to, I guess that conversation around the table that you had, did you lay out some of those boundaries like you mentioned?
It's very important. I'm telling you, it's very for husband and wife to do it together. I think what makes our relationship successful, and I would say we hardly never fight. We don't fight. Is because I have my expertise and that he respects. And he has his expertise that I respect. So when we sit down, I said, I am not going to tell you how to do your job, and please do not tell me how to do my job. So if you look at, I spent time at PricewaterhouseCoopers with a professional service company. So I know the structure very well. I know how that works. And I also worked at a Kellogg Company, a big corporation, Fortune 500 corporation. I know how that works. And that, along with my tax expertise, is actually what he lacks. Because I always tease him, he take 1 year W-2 because when he was a first-year advisor at IDS, the rest of he's always 1099. He never spent 1 day. He's always his own boss. So that would impose a bit of a challenge when your business start growing. You starting managing people because managing people need a structure.
So you're growing a company alongside your husband. Mm-hmm. We just had several conversations this week in different settings about how important spouses are.
Yeah.
And to closing deals, to knowing if a seller might be interested in selling, to successfully growing a business. And we've had conversations about, what does it mean to be a man versus a woman entrepreneur, and the demands of navigating that relationship. So spouses are critical no matter who's playing what role. And you play, that's a unique role that you got to play.
Yeah.
Being alongside. What is your lesson for how entrepreneurs who are growing companies, how should they be thinking about their relationship with their spouse to enable their business success?
So starting your own business, running your own business is a commitment. You probably do not need to be from a schedule-wise. I would say at some point, like for me, I'm here right now, right? I don't need to be physically in the office. So even though when your business even starting taking off, become very successful, that you don't have to be physically in your office. You are at work 24/7. I'm going to tell you that right now, because it's in your head. You are thinking about your business because it's your business. You are going to think about that 24/7. And so for your spouse, you got the issue with, for instance, I'm just giving you an example. I have seen that with numerous of, even in our clients, is the husband is doing the business or the woman is doing the business. And then that's all they want to, especially at the beginning. But even right now, you ask, that's all Charles wants to talk about is the business. Okay, so good thing I'm in the business.
So when he comes home, that's all you guys are talking.
He wants to talk about business.
And then you're tied up with it too, and so you're thinking about it too.
Yeah, so I can think about it, so then we can have this conversation. But think about it, you're not in the business. This person comes in every day, comes home. That's all he's thinking about. That's all she's thinking about. She wants to run ideas by you. She wants to complain to you the frustrations that she had, and if you are not all interested or be supportive, you're going to have issues in your marriage. I can tell you that right now. Because you will find this person, especially at the beginning of the business, you say, I want to tell him about my landscaping didn't show up today. Well, she's not interested at all. That's a big deal for the household. She doesn't give a crap. And they say, because you know what? It is a commitment. That's what your mind is going to go through 24/7. You want to find somebody to run idea with, then you will find, if you're not in the business with that person, you have to be comfortable with he or she be on the phone with somebody else all the time. Because business owners need to talk. They need to network. They need to bounce ideas. If you're not that person she or he can bounce ideas with, they will find somebody else. Doesn't mean they have affairs. Of course. But you have to feel comfortable. They might spend more time on the phone with that person or with persons that they can bounce idea than with you. And you have to be comfortable with that.
So in those first years, you're also, though, right? I think what's really unique is you're alongside him in the business.
Yeah.
So is this in the early days? Is this all you guys are talking about?
We still, I would say if you would go into our dinner table, you get bored very quickly. So when we're with clients or with friends, though, we don't talk about business. But if you want to join our regular dinner table at home, I think you get bored very quickly because we talk about, that's why I always say apples don't fall. We want our kids to go do something else. They all end up in the finance field. And I'm telling you, looking back, it has something to do with, that's what they think. They listen, they hear us talk about all the time at the dinner table. So for my boys, small cap was not a strange word. They knew that when they were like maybe 9. The difference, small cap, large cap, value and growth. They know those terminologies when they were probably, even younger than 9, because that's what we talk about at the dinner table.
So you started when there was, would you say 150 million?
Well, he started with zero.
Well, it was zero.
Yeah,
right.
But I think when I joined him, he's
but
about
all of the
150.
all of the success came from when you joined, right? Like as you said. Right?
Well, I would like to say so.
But 150 from 0 to 150 to 5 billion now.
Yes, but I will. Well, to give my husband credit, though, I tell you, the first 150 or 200, I can't really remember honestly, is the hardest. I can tell you that right now. It's the first, you build up on that is hard. But the first is that people can spend all their life, they can never build to that first 150 or 200.
And so what explains that success, that entrepreneurship moment of getting 0 to 1, and then let's talk about going from, that 150, 200 to 5 billion. What lessons did you learn watching, being a part of, seeing that journey there to get to that first?
I think one is the commitment. If you look at, he has, both him and I, we have all the designations you can imagine under the sun. Our designations are longer than, and I have a long last name, and my designation is still a bit longer than my last name. So, they're my name. It's the commitment because, and these designations all take time. And, CFP, CPA, those take times to, it's not, some of the soup of acrobats, alphabetics, not acrobats, soup of alphabetics, way less than if you go to my website. I have a video about the professional designations in the financial field. Some of them take maybe a day, but the ones that he has, I have, it takes years to get. Mm-hmm. So that's a commitment, right? You need to educate yourself and then stick to the continued education with that. And also, I know people might think I say that because I say that. You do need to look after your client's best interest. If you think about we live in a smaller community, right? A lot of our clients, it's just referrals. We just finished our client satisfaction survey. So last year, I gave you an example. So last year is a really tough year, right? In the market, anybody would admit that. It has so many ups and downs, and it's very volatile. Even with that, we accomplished 99.2% client satisfaction.
Wow.
And that's to me, a statement of, we sent out some over 900. We received about 50% response back. And that 50% response, almost close to 500, they put 99.2, and the 99 point, I think was about 5% of people say, yeah, we would, actually 99.7% say we would recommend Zhang-Financial to friends and family. So you serve every client with your full heart. That's why you need to think about that all the time. You serve every client with your full heart. You put yourself in their shoes. I would say that's why if you look at our journey, when we first get into the business, right, you don't know what you don't know. Did we make some mistakes? Sure we did. But that's not because we knew and we made the mistake for our own gain. It's because we truly didn't knew. For instance, did we sell commissioned products at that time? Sure we did. Did we sell annuities? Sure we did. Because we believed in them. But then you learned these are not good stuff. Then we say, oh, the hell, we're not doing that again. So that's how we become who we are today. Fee-only wealth management firm. We don't take anybody's kickbacks, any products company, any payments other than what the clients pay us. We don't take any of those. 100% of our revenue is from what clients pay us. Mm-hmm. And we don't take any commissions either. So we can look at a client's eye and say, my advice to you is because this is, in my belief, this is for your best interest. There's no any other motive behind it because we don't have motives. And that's a hard spot to get. Mm-hmm.
You learn that just through that process.
Yeah, because we always want to be that. Along the way, even when very early stage, we want to be that. We just don't know how. Because again, you don't know what you don't know. But we knew now. So we're not, but I think what's going to surprise you is in the financial service industry, a lot of the companies knew. They still do it because that fats their own wallet. I can throw the name. I'm not slandering anybody because it's in their own SEC filings. Go read. So every wealth management firm, you have to file this form. You have to tell the SEC what your business practice is. I always tell clients, SEC do want to, they do try, okay? They try to get you educated, let you know what financials, who you get to bed with, okay? Who you trust with your financial success. They want you to know. You just have to know to read. You have to take time to read. So every company is required to file with SEC certain forms, Form ADV and CRS, to tell the SEC this is how we operate, who we take money from. These are our conflicts of interest. Well, if you look at Fidelity's, a big name, I mean, you would be blown away by the conflict of interest they disclose on their filings, which is public. Again, that's why I'm not slandering anybody. It's public. Well, we take money from third parties, from product companies. Therefore, we have a conflict of interest with you to recommend you products from those people who pay us money. We take, we make more money from our proprietary products. Therefore, we have conflicts of interest with you to give you, to recommend it to you, our proprietary products. Then you're like, if I cannot even trust your advice, right? If you have so many conflicts of interest, how am I, as an investor, be able to trust advice that you give to me?
So it almost sounds like you then, as part of your the kind of the startup process, the two of you discovered the differentiation of Zhang-Financial, right? That's one of your differentiators, right?
That's our differentiation.
That kind of emerged over time.
Right. You know, again, we always want to build a company that's best for clients. Because our belief is you have to take care of clients and clients take care of you, right? But it takes a little bit of journey to find out what that is and how do you build it.
So let's talk about, you mentioned, commitment, you mentioned taking care of your clients.
And employees.
Let's talk about what would be, and those things are continuing as you continue to grow your company.
Yep.
What would be surprising for people to hear about how the Zhang-Financial went from 150 to 5 billion? What's something surprising that people might not know, or a lesson you learned as the two of you just scaled this company so tremendously?
So we did my Charles' first degree is economics, master in economics from Western. And I got my master in accounting from Western. But we went back to MBA at Northwestern because you realize when your company grow to a certain level, unless you hire professional managers. But our concern is they're not going to care about the business as much as we do, right? So you need, when you get to a scale, you have to know how to manage a business in order to grow. Because, you look at right now, we have more than 40 employees. And how do you structure a company? How do you motivate people? How do you organize your practice? It's all, at that time, we look at, say, well, we don't know. We know how two of us can be, every client is happy with us. But once you start having employees, how can you make sure the clients are happy with your employees? How do you motivate your people to give their 110% to clients? And I'm telling you, that's a skill. So we went back to school, to Northwestern. We finished our MBA there together. And I think that actually contributes a lot to how we were able to grow the company. Because you need to look at how you structure it. We always say sometimes women make a better investors. That's a common sense. A lot of women are better investors than men because we calculate risks. When women calculate, we do a lot more calculation of risks. We think about a lot of other factors. And starting your own business, sometimes you have to take risks. You have to close your eyes and jump in. And just to do it, just say, the hell, I'm going to do it. I have known actually men that back in my Kellogg days, my boss at that time always said he wants to be a financial advisor. He wants to be a wealth manager. I'm like, just do it. Yeah, well, because, he has a well-paying job at a Kellogg, and that's less risk. He has family to support. He's calculating the risk. He's thinking, well, there's one is certain, one is uncertain. So he sticked with it. Well, he finally became a financial advisor because he got laid off. Sometimes. So for you to start your business, I would say you calculate the risk to a certain degree, then you just have to take a leap of faith. But women are a less of, I won't say every woman, I don't want to say general, but women like to calculate risk carefully. So sometimes make it harder for them to take this jump. That, and also, as I said, it's a commitment. It's a lot of energy, a lot of time. I think it's fair to say that women these days still take much bigger share of the family duties at home than men. Sometimes they just don't have that time and energy. It's a lot of time and energy. Yeah, it's not for the faint heart.
All the headspace of that.
Yeah, well, I mean, you see, my boys went to boarding school, so I was asked by one of the board. They said, well, you spend so much time in with your work, and I said, yeah, because my kids were in boarding school since they were 13, so there's not a lot I need to get involved. I did all my education. They're great kids, but I did all my education, my time with them before they were 10. Honestly, after 10, very little influence you have on kids. Remember that. You all guys have young kids.
I'll go one more question, then we'll wrap up. So in light of that, what is your advice or recommendation to women who are considering becoming a CEO, buying a company? Why is that a worthwhile path to pursue?
I think that you have a lot more control of it. When you are in a company, I hate to say this, but it's absolutely true, especially in a big company, you are an employee number. I know excellent people, very devoted, very hardworking, very talented, got laid off, got canned because they're part of the strategic movements for the company. Now, that's not fair, right? So if you become with a CEO, you have a much more control of your own fate. That's what I want to say. And you do have more flexibility when the company is starting taking off. Like I have time to serve on boards because, my company is in a very smooth path. It's structured very well. Even though here, in your head, you're thinking 24/7, but physically, It's more, you can sit in your kids' basketball game and still think about your business.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if it's truly normally, okay, I would say, if you want to start a business for the sake of start a business, probably not a good idea. You have to start a business because that's the business you want to do. I was talking with a woman in she came in, did a presentation in the Southwest Michigan First in our board meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So she has this peanut butter brittle, that business. That's because that was her parents used to do, to give to friends during the holidays, and that the parents are very ill and feel so bad that they don't leave a legacy to their kids. And she said, well, I'm going to do it. And then she's like, well, why don't I love doing this. Why don't I become a business? See, you have to have the love, because I always say passion is not important until you hit a roadblock. That's when passion becomes important.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, because you have the passion, you get up and get going again. You don't have a passion, you fall, and you say, the hell with it. Because most of the people can find other jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So have the love for it before tell yourself, I love this, I'm going to do this.
That's good.
And then take, again, only calculate the risk to a certain degree. Then you need to close your eyes and jump in. It's same as marriage.
I don't want to see the calculations my wife was making.
Is
that love? If it's not love, you don't jump in.
Well, it always, we've had some deals where you have logic and reason, and you have emotion and faith, and those things can work together and sometimes not. And navigating that can be challenging. Do you want to wrap up with our three closeout questions?
Sure, you already mentioned one. So the three closeout questions we like to ask. So number one would be your favorite term within the financial industry. So you already heard
Fee
one.
only.
What was that?
Fee only.
Oh, fee only. Okay, great. Yep, that's a perfect one.
Yeah.
You mentioned small cap earlier, so it's fee only.
Yeah,
It's great.
yeah.
Okay. Number two.
Hold on. Do you have any other term that you just like the sound of it?
There's a lot of lingo.
Discipline.
Discipline.
Financial service industry. You want to have a successful retirement life? Be disciplined.
Okay.
So it's like I grew up a little bit in the financial service industry, so rebalancing was one that we used to
Rebalancing and
asset
discipline.
allocation, yeah.
Asset allocation, and I tell you, the most important, be disciplined.
Okay.
Yep, that's great. Okay, number two is, so you've been in West Michigan for many years.
Yeah.
What is maybe your favorite off the beaten path restaurant or park, or what's something you'd recommend to someone visiting Kalamazoo that is maybe not very popular?
It's not very popular. My favorite dining place, Charles's favorite dining place is the Valley Dining at a Western. I don't think that many people know.
I don't know about this.
Yeah.
The Valley Diner.
See, I tell you something you don't know.
Okay.
Make a trip down there. Go eat there.
Valley Diner.
Blow you away.
Breakfast, or what's the
Dinner full day.
Dinner full day. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Good. That's a great one. And then we haven't heard that one yet, so that's perfect. And then the last one is, so you're highly educated, right? So you went to Western, multiple degrees, Kellogg. So what's maybe the one thing that you've learned in your business, now running it for many years, that you did not learn in school?
My favorite quote always says, you tell yourself, winners never quit, quitters never win.
That's great. So that persistence that you're talking about, the persistence, the love,
Yep.
it's not in the textbook.
Yeah.
It's great.
But in order to do that, you got to have the love.
Yep.
Yeah. If I don't like numbers, I would have quit a long time ago.
That's great.
This is great. Thanks, Lynn. It's great to spend time with you. You've made a huge impact on Western, the community, Sleeping Giant. So great to spend time with you.
Good. Spend time with you. And I like your commitment. Try to encourage more women into be in the C-suite. So that's why I'm willing to help, because I think we women are so talented. We are very good at multitasking. Those are all the important things to be in the C-suite.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes we need a bit more encouragement.
50%, that's our goal. So
yeah,
we'll look forward to doing it with you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lynn.
No problem.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Glad to be here.